In this video, we're going to be solving for x in an inequality, okay? An inequality just simply means we don't have an equal sign, right? We either have a less than sign or a greater than sign. In this case, it's a greater than sign. Okay, so we're going to approach it the same way we would, for the most part, if we had an equal sign, okay? What that means is we want our x, or our unknown, on one side of our sign. In this case, it's a greater than sign. And we want our solution, our numerical answer, in this case it's going to be a number, but sometimes it could have other variables or unknowns in it. We want that on the other side of whatever our symbol is. And as it stands with math convention, it doesn't matter if the x is on the left-hand side or the right-hand side, but math convention, which is just how we do things in math, tells us we'd prefer to have our unknown that we're solving for, in this case the x, on the left-hand side, okay? And then our solution, the number or number and variables that are left over, on the right-hand side, okay? So that's what we're going to do. So because we approach it the same way as the equal sign, what we want to do is the opposite operation, okay? So right now, we want the x isolated by itself, okay? Right now, the only thing stopping the x from being by itself is that it's being multiplied by a -9. So if we were to divide by -9, then these two would cancel out, right? And the x would be by itself. Okay, that's what we want to do. Now, whatever we do to one side of the equation, we have to do to the other side of the equation, okay? So if I'm going to divide one side by -9, I have to divide the other side by -9, okay? Otherwise, I've just created a new equation. I've changed it. I'm not solving the equation I was given, okay? So we don't want to do that. So what we do to one side, we do to the other side. It's the same with an inequality as it is with an equal sign. However, there is one trick that we need to remember when we're dealing with an inequality. When we are solving for an unknown, as in this case with the x, if we either multiply or divide both sides by a negative number, which we are doing, we're dividing by a -9, we need to change the direction of our inequality, okay? This gets tricky. If we were adding or subtracting to reduce or to remove a term from one side and move it to the other side, we do not change the direction of the inequality. It doesn't matter if we're adding or subtracting. But if we're multiplying or dividing a negative number, okay, then we have to change the direction of the sign. So that's the first thing we're going to do, okay? We're not going to simplify it all. We are going to rewrite this inequality, because if we don't do it now, we're not going to remember to do it, right? And then it's wrong. We just didn't get the right answer, okay? So changing the inequality sign means that we go from greater than to less than, okay? That's what we mean when we say we have to change it. So we're changing the direction of it, okay? And now we can simplify our left-hand side. So -9 divided by -9 is simply 1. 1 times x is just x. And that is what we were trying to do, right? We needed x by itself. Now we can simplify the right-hand side. -90 divided by -9 is simply 10. So our answer then is x is less than 10. So for this question, the trickiest part is remembering that when we either multiply or divide by a negative number, both sides of an inequality, we need to change the direction of the inequality. In this case, we had a greater than, and it became a less than. And that's it. So our answer is x is less than 10. If you would like to learn how to quickly study for your GED exam online and get a new resume, then visit testprepskills.com.